Today News Update.
From the Barbados Today newsroom, this is your evening news update for Monday, July 18. So glad you could join us. The Democratic Labour Party today warned Barbadians that a proposed amendment to the Electric Light and Power Act, set to be debated in Parliament tomorrow, will remove some of their rights to object to any application for a license to supply electricity in Barbados. DLP President Dr. Ronnie Yearwood said an extract of the current Electric Light and Power Act that gives the opportunity for all interested parties to make representation to the minister is being removed and replaced with an instruction that any interested party will first have to justify why they're interested in objecting. He contends the proposed amendment runs counter to accepted legal principles for consultation, and the government must first seek to protect the rights of consumers. However, Energy Minister Kerry Simmons says the amendment only seeks to make the intervener process more fair and transparent. He added that the legislation is seeking to ensure that people with a relevant interest can participate in the process. An early morning fire at an old beach house along Maxwell Main Road, Christchurch, damaged a section of the fiber optic cable in the area, triggering disruptions across the Flow telecommunications network to surrounding areas. Fire officials said the blaze destroyed the property located just opposite Golden Sands. In a statement, Flow advised customers that its internet, landline, and television services would be affected. The company, however, assured that the fault has been identified and crews were working to rectify the situation. The Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations has called on government to declare gun violence a national public health epidemic. In a strong statement on Monday, General Secretary Dennis DePisa insisted the Mayor Motley administration must take concrete steps to address the worrying problem and stressed that the issue must not be left solely up to law enforcement and the criminal justice system. DePisa called on government to establish appropriate measures to curb the criminal importation of firearms, and he also made a case for strict enforcement and/or tightening of current gun laws. 3 of the island's largest rum producers have decided to take action to file an application for the highly touted geographical indication GI for Barbados rum. With the island being known as the birthplace of rum, they said they could no longer sit back and watch others profit while Barbados continue to lose out on precious economic earnings. The managing director of Montgay Rum Distilleries, Raphael Grassoni, has announced that his company, along with Foursquare Distillery and St. Nicholas Abbey, have submitted a properly written GI application to the local registrar.
It's really something that we want everybody to support because it's part of, after all, this Barbados Rum GI is not Foursquare, St. Nicholas Abbey, Montgay, and the other distilleries that will join. It's not about that. It's about the cultural heritage, and I'm very happy, John, that you're here for that, because it's about the cultural heritage of Barbados and how to protect it and how to make sure that it will survive the test of time.
Master distiller and owner of Foursquare Distillery, Richard Seal, says the region has lagged on the issue of geographical indication. He says it's a good move for Barbados.
It's also an area where the developing world has been left behind. So in Europe, there is about 5,000 registration for agricultural products of European companies registered in Europe. I think the West Indies, what we know as the West Indies, Anglophone Caribbean, I think we have 2. And one of them is the Demerara one. So, Barbados, once we're successful here, we'll be the first GI registered product on the legislation in Barbados. And once we succeed in the European Union, we would be, well, there may be a few by then, but we could be the 3rd.
Regional and international news coming up after this short break.
Cure Oxygen is way more than just water. We infuse pristine water with over 1 billion tiny oxygen bubbles using our state-of-the-art process. The benefits of additional oxygen are huge, from strengthening your immune system to increasing energy levels, stamina, and sports performance. And that's not all. It also improves skin health, helps you sleep better, and reduces stress. Join the movement of people experiencing the benefits of Cure Oxygen. It's not hype, it's science.
On the regional scene, the United Nations Human Rights Office has expressed concern about rising violence around Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. More in this report.
There is an attempt by some parties connected with humanitarian relief to discuss with the gangs access to the hardest hit part of CTUSAB. However, it's not been moving very fast, and the issues are still on a battlefront is still going on between the warring gangs in CTUSAB. So the people cannot get out, they cannot come in, and relief is not available for the people inside CTUSAB right now. And there's no water, there's no food, and in order to get out, you have to go through both battling gangs, and it's not an option right now for the people in the area.
Further afield in the United Kingdom, the authorities are warning temperatures in parts of England could break records in the coming days, and the country's infrastructure is struggling to cope.
Britain's rail service is on the brink of failure as much of the country's infrastructure can't cope with searing temperatures. Makeshift foil used on steel bridges in an attempt to deflect the heat. Road surfaces beginning to melt. More alarming, voluntary ambulance staff trying to back up an already fully stretched National Health Service dealing with heat-related emergencies. And in London, if you get out of the sun and go underground, it's even worse. So why is it that Britain can't cope with heat waves? So much of it's to do with its outdated and inadequate infrastructure. It just can't cope with extreme temperatures. Here on London's tube, you can't even have air conditioning. The only airflow is stale and hot. Some passengers can't see what the fuss is about.
35, 36 degrees, people pay money to go to places with that, and those places don't have air conditioning either.
Yeah, so you basically think it's over the top?
Yeah, absolutely.
An American tourist isn't impressed.
It gets this hot regularly, but we have air conditioning everywhere and everything's kind of set up for it to be that hot.
I'm from Philippines, so it's the weather is just fine for me.
With the increasing threat of extreme weather events caused by global warming, many civil engineers believe countries like the UK need to invest much more.
The UK is seeing the impact of climate change not as much as other countries in the world, and therefore perhaps the urgency is not felt as much as it should. That they've got a really big task in hand and they should be starting on it right now.
Well, now that sense of urgency is beginning to rise, along with the temperatures setting new records all across the UK.
That's news. For the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Medium bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.